Good morning, sunshine. Welcome to Morning Inspiration with Friends with our host, Miss Inspiration. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe as you sit back and listen. Good morning. Good morning. We are back with another episode of Morning Inspiration with Friends. I am your host, Tanisha Shanae. We are here. It is Friday. I'm going to tell y'all, this has felt like the longest week. It's felt like the longest week. I'm just like, oh, we finally made it. Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. ish. As you can see, we got started a little late today. 7 a.m. Keep your notifications on so that you'll be notified every time that I go live or I post any new materials on YouTube, Facebook. Just also hit the notifications. I think we have notifications. And this way you can also be notified. If you are watching on the replay, hashtag replay, so I know that you were here. Even if you wasn't here with us live. And make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And tell a friend. Because we talk about everything over here, like everything. And today I want to talk about this. A young man, streamer, Kai. Many of you may know him. Kai has announced a few days ago, like 2 days ago, that he is stepping away from streaming. And Kai has been, first of all, shout out to Kai because he is, I think he's from Brooklyn. Is he from Brooklyn? I feel like he is. But nevertheless, I know he's from New York. He's definitely from New York. Well, he's an online streamer, YouTuber, internet celebrity, and he basically is like already hit millions. He's accomplished a lot with his streaming. I think his streaming university that happened last year. And, you know, they say he's worth like anywhere from like between $14 and $35 million. And he's only, 21, 22? Very young man. And so telling people that he's going to quit streaming, I just had to look it up. Telling people that he's leaving streaming because that's all that they know him as. And that's the problem that a lot of people are going to have. When people just start choosing themselves and they start deciding that, you know what, I'm done with this. Like I've reached my peak and I'm done with this. And it's time to move on to something different. He didn't say he was quitting life. He just said he was going to quit streaming. And I know that they say he like sometimes is generating $1 million an hour or a day every time he would go stream live. And a lot of people don't understand that, right? A lot of people don't understand how this works, you know, as far as streaming, whether they are the person that's watching or they're the person who's just sitting on the sideline to criticize. But all those things matter, watch hours, and depending on the platform. I know Twitch, I've never been on Twitch, but I heard Twitch is very expensive and they pay really well. That's the reason why we didn't see the rapper T-Pain for quite some time, because T-Pain said, why would I leave my house to go on tour, learning routines, traveling, leaving my family for weeks and months at a time when I'm getting like 30 to 50,000 an hour streaming? He was like, why not? You know, and I think that's something that a lot of people are choosing, the easier, the softer life, right? And I have no problems with that, right? So what I want to talk about today is that, you know, bowing out on your terms, bowing out and knowing when to leave, like knowing when you probably, you know, and again, he didn't go into like details. He just put out like a really nice video. And at the end, you know, he was like sitting, I don't feel like it was the beach, probably like in the desert somewhere. And, you know, he's just writing and he's making this announcement. And at the end, him and his mom are left together, you know, and I just felt like a lot of people were missing, you know, like, oh, he shouldn't leave. He still has so much more to do. And, you know, it could just be he's tired of the public image. I know he was a part of, you know, a public discussion because his now ex-girlfriend, this was like around Christmas, so this was very recent. His now ex-girlfriend was like, she didn't have a car and she wanted a car and she wanted him to buy her a car. He said no. Like, you're just my girlfriend and I'm my wife, not none other stuff. And I guess NBA young boy, somebody, another rapper, or a rapper, stepped in and was like, I'll buy you a car. And so he brought the girl a car, and Kai broke up with her. I mean, I'm not mad at it. I think we really got to get out this feeling like, oh, just because the person has millions, that they're just supposed to do things for people. Just because you're their girlfriend or their boyfriend, that they're supposed to do things for you. Like, that's not necessarily. It's I don't know how long he was with the young lady, but because he's like 21, I think he just turned 21. Y'all ain't got years. This ain't somebody who you've been with, you know, from the beginning. No. So I totally understand both angles, and I understand her side of taking the car. She's probably young too, college student, and needs a car, and she took the car where it came from, right? People are going to learn. They're going to learn about loyalty, and it might not be until in the end their late 20s or 30s, or even sometimes 40s. So that's something. So I don't know if it was because of those types of things that's making him like, well, let me just bow out. That's why I want to be a quiet millionaire. I don't want to be a person that people know my net worth. I don't want people to even know that I have money. I want to still go live, whether because there's going to be a day morning inspiration is going to come to an end. We haven't reached the peak yet, but I do feel like, I want to stay. I want to stay simple, as simplistic as possible. Like, I don't need the whole big shebang. But we're getting off topic. So your success is not an obligation, right? And so I give him a lot of credit for walking away, because it's like, yeah, I'm at the peak. I'm doing great things. I'm accomplishing a lot. But just because something is working doesn't mean that you're required to stay there, right? MySpace is a perfect example. What's his name? Tom from MySpace. I really do believe that Tom left at the perfect time, and Tom just sold MySpace and he walked away. He walked away from the limelight. He now is a photographer doing other things, and I really do enjoy his photography that he posts up on his social media. He took his fortune, live a super quiet life. We never hear nothing else about Tom until we got social media like Instagram and TikTok and stuff. Some people, it's okay to walk away and say, you know what, I've done my part. I've done everything that I felt like I can do in this realm, and there's something else that I can do, and I don't have to stay here, right? A lot of people feel trapped in these expectations, and a lot of people get trapped in this level of success, even though it's not something that they want. They don't want to deal with that anymore. They don't want to deal with that public scrutiny, that public perception. Like, he's been criticized quite often. He's being criticized again right now for just being online and sharing that when he's reading and he doesn't know the definition of a word, he looks it up. And people are criticizing him for that, of all things, right? Leaving when you're on top is actually a strategy move, right? Wisdom is going to know when the moment has been maximized. And so this is where discernment comes in. This is where that spiritual bond, this is where I don't know his relationship with God, but this is where God will tell you, okay, it's time to move forward. It's time to move on. Like, you maxed out here. And the world doesn't see that, because to the world, that's all that they know. And this is why I have a problem with the world, because they look at people like, he knows a perfect example of this, Rihanna. And I always talk about this. People don't like the fact that Rihanna won't make music. They want her to come back so bad, to come back and give another album. And I'm like, she's not going to do it. She reached the peak that she desired, and she is moving forward to new things and to bigger things. You can't tell somebody what to do and how long to stay there. That's their success. And just because it's making you uncomfortable, because that's how you were introduced to them, now you feel as though they can't and go do something else. Although there have been people in other areas that have done similar. But I guess it's because they went from music to movies or music to TV. You still got to see them. You still got a relationship with them. So maybe that's why people didn't criticize, or they don't criticize Will Smith and Queen Latifah and LL Cool J for doing that. Although they did that. They made the music, they maximized it, and then they stepped away and they went and did something different. But now because we see it, like we see Rihanna doing everything but making music. She ain't thinking about a studio. She thinking about her babies. She thinking about her man, and she thinking about her businesses. And that's it. And there's nothing wrong with that. So when people don't have the wisdom to understand that, and you're gonna look at people like a Kai and like a Rihanna and think, man, what you going on? What you leaving this for? Like, this is what we know you for. And I bet you in about 5 years, people are gonna be like, man, he fell off. Like, no, right? He probably won't. I'm pretty sure he got really smart people around him that's gonna help him to invest, and they probably have everything already set up. He's gonna be good. His family is gonna be good for quite some time, right? Your exit doesn't need a consensus. And this is the reason why I love that he didn't stream and have this conversation. He put out the video. Like, I made a decision. I don't need your permission. You're not going to talk me out of this, right? I don't need your permission to end the season that's already complete for me because it's completed for you. His fans are going to be heartbroken. They're going to probably sit, if they have access to recordings, they're going to probably sit and go back and rewatch those things. But you have to realize that he didn't need anyone's permission. That's the reason why he did it the way he did. He just put the message out there. There's no conversation. There's nothing for people to do to try to persuade him any other way. I'm pretty sure he went through all of the channels that he had to go through, thinking about this, praying about this, fasting. I'm pretty sure. Because that is a huge thing to walk away from. Dave Chappelle did it. Dave Chappelle was at the top. And when they tried to play in his face about the Chappelle show, he said, okay, cool, I'm going to leave. And he left. And we didn't hear from him for a few years because he just went and figured him out, and he just did other things and he enjoyed his life. And then we started seeing him coming back, but we still haven't gotten a Chappelle show. He ain't come back and said, okay, let me give them what they want. No, now you're going to just get true told comedy on the stage. That's it. You might get a Netflix special. That's it. Catch him when he is in your city or when he's somewhere, right? So because he doesn't even have to work the way that other people have to. So I want people to realize that if you have this issue with Kai and people like that who are walking away, that is because it's making you uncomfortable. And you want to be a part of the decision making of their decisions, and it's not possible. It's their life, right? And you have to now start to reevaluate where are areas in your life that you might need to bow out. Where have you maximized? Where have you capitalized? Where have you done the most and the best work? And it's just time for you to just move on. Where? Because if you get to that point, that's when it's going to make it easier for you to understand why other people are walking away at their peak, right? And I'd rather leave at my peak than to now go through the downfalls. And it's like, for what? For what? So it does. Like people want to wait until the numbers start to reflect. No, I'm gonna leave when it's at the highest, and I'm gonna walk away now because now I want to do something else. All right. So there's so many different things. Sometimes the most powerful move isn't pushing harder. It's knowing when you've done enough and you've had enough. So bowing out on your terms is not giving up. It's just trusting yourself and trusting that the path that you're about to take, this new path, is going to be the best path. So you just have to focus on that, right? So if other people are making you feel bad for wanting to bow out, for wanting to walk away from situations that are not serving you, then you deserve that and you can have that conversation. And I want you to have those kind of conversations because I want you to understand that it's okay to know when to leave. And that's relationships, that's friendships, that's jobs, that's careers, that's hobbies. That's when you're going out, right? You at a party and your spidey senses tell you it's time to go. Listen, because it's time to go. It is time to go. Okay? So I am your girl, Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. We'll be back here on Monday. Tell me your thoughts. How do you feel? Drop that down below in the comments so that we can have this conversation. Because again, I want us to understand that sometimes it is okay to walk away and bow out on your own terms. I love keeping the narrative, controlling the narrative, and leaving on my terms because then that means that I control that. And that doesn't give power to anyone else. So have a good one. Have a great weekend. See you back here on Monday and have a good one.
Man, that was another great message, Tanisha. Listen, friends, if you are not watching Morning Inspiration with Friends with Tanisha, then you are missing out. Hit that subscribe button and even share with a friend because this is the best way to start your morning. Check Tanisha out every Monday through Friday around 7 a.m. CT time. You will not be disappointed.